NESN Bets Kickoff as we get you ready for Thursday Night Football between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings. I'm Sammy P, and joining us, you know him, you love him, the three-piece, three-time Super Bowl champ, LeGarrette Blount, as we get ready to break this baby down. Now, I want to start with the particulars, right? The Eagles clearly favored in this game. They're a 6-point favorite. The total is 49, but I want to start with this Eagles defense. We just saw the injury report, right? Nakobe Dean is out. He wears the green dot on the back of his helmet. So he's the one calling plays. He is out. They are also down a starting corner in Bradbury and a starting safety in Blankenship. I asked LeGarrette Blount if he is directing this offense for Minnesota, knowing all that, what does LeGarrette Blount do tonight?
Oh man, LeGarrette Blount still stays out of the middle of that defense, man. I know it's tough, when you got three guys out, but these guys are going to still be able to rush the passer. They're still going to be able to stop the run with the front four. I say they got to get creative, do some San Fran type plays. Get on these end arounds. Win the route quickly and early into the play because they still provide a real dangerous defense. They still got guys that can take away the football, change the course of a game in the blink of an eye with Slay. So these guys are still dangerous, even though they're down a couple warriors.
I think you have to sort of prevent the 45-50 pass game, though. I don't need to tell a running back that's done this for a long time that, but I think the casual observer doesn't understand. If you're throwing the ball 45-50 times with Minnesota tonight, that's probably going to be, en route to a blowout for Philadelphia, right?
Oh yeah, that's a recipe for disaster for the Vikings. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that I hate on Cousins or anything. Cousins is a good quarterback. Obviously, he's been to multiple Pro Bowls. But when you can get to the point to throwing the ball 40 to 45 times a game, if it's not Peyton Manning or Brady or someone of that fashion, these Breeze type guys, and obviously the Mahomeses, then you get in trouble with a defense like this. These guys are going to always be amongst the one of the top defenses in the league if they get you on the point to where you got to throw the football a lot.
So people are knocking the Eagles early. They came into Foxborough. They played well early, but New England climbed back in late. I don't care how you win. It's did you win? It was only by 5 points. They still covered. What did you learn from Philly in week number 1?
You learn that they can face adversity in a tough environment, right? That's a tough environment to play in. That's for any team. It's hard to go to Foxborough and win a football game. It doesn't matter if it's 0-15. It's going to always be tough to go out there and beat these guys. So I think you're giving a little bit less credit to the New England Patriots because of the team that they've been recently, but they're still a solid football team. They're still going to be defensively sound. They're still going to have playmakers on the defensive side of the football. So give a little bit of credit here to Belichick and that Patriots defense and that Patriots game because Mac Jones, he played a solid game, so little things here and there it got away from the boys, and you can't discredit that win. That's a hard, tough, solid win for the Philadelphia Eagles, even though it wasn't pretty.
You mentioned the word adversity, very important in football. There's some backfield adversity for the Eagles tonight. No Kenneth Gainwell. There's another guy on the shelf for the Eagles today. He is not going to play. And I have this feeling, I don't know what it is. I have this feeling you're ready for DeAndre Swift to eat tonight. I don't know what it is, but I'm calling my shot here. His rushing prop is only 34.5. I know they've got Rashad Penny, they've got Boston Scott, but I feel like you're a Swift guy tonight.
I'm a Swift guy tonight. I think that he's going to eat. I think this is his opportunity to prove himself and separate himself from the pack in a game-like situation. Obviously a big game. NFC matchup. So, this is an opportunity for him to come out, do what he's supposed to do. I think be versatile as he can be, take advantage of all of his touches. Because obviously last week Penny was a healthy scratch, right? He was a healthy scratch. He didn't play. I don't know what the reason for that was, but they went into the game with the guys they were ready to play with, and I think this gives Swift an opportunity to really get a chance to gain some momentum and separate himself as the lead back in this offense. He's a really, really good football player. I can't wait for him to have that breakout game. I think this might be it for him.
Okay, so we're going over 34.5. That's a long way of you
Definitely
saying
over
we're betting
34
the
and a half.
over on Swift.
Bet the over, please.
And Swift also to score a touchdown is pretty enticing here. The problem with Philly is that you have to deal with Jalen Hurts as a bettor. You could bet, any of these guys in the backfield. The quarterback likes to keep the pigskin, though, and that's something we always have to account for. But he really changes the way a defense has to script for that offense inside the 10-yard line, because we know number one can always call his own number, and that's what makes those Eagles touchdown bets so tough. You've got the wide receivers in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. You've got the running backs, but the quarterback wants to eat too.
Yeah, and that's tough when it comes to betting, that's tough. If you want to bet, anytime they getting the ball inside the 3-yard line or so, you'd be better off betting Jalen Hurts than the running back. I'm gonna say that, because a lot of the backs are going to get their touchdowns and carries, a little bit further away. Hurts being the size that he is and the physical player and the caliber player that he is, I would even put the football in his hands inside the 5-yard line every time if I could. He's a really good football player, one of the best in the NFL. So, as a bettor, it does get tough betting against him when it comes to the rushing touchdowns and things like that. So, I'm still betting with Hurts. I'm still betting with Swift to get a tub tonight.
I love playing this game with you, and I'm going to just throw you on the spot here because I'm going to get to the total for points scored in a second. When you close your eyes and you look up at that final scoreboard after the fourth quarter, what's the final score? What's the first score that comes to your mind?
35-14.
Oh, the total is 49, bro. You're right on the total.
Yeah, 39 to Hey, I would if I'm willing to bet, I would go over that.
Okay, but it sounds like but you're going to say 35-14. It sounds like you like the Eagles then. You would lay 6.
I like the Eagles.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I like the Eagles, and I like the Eagles to cover. I like the Eagles to cover the spread. But that point total, it'll really depend on if the Vikings can keep up with the Eagles offense, because they're going to score their fair share of points tonight.
Okay, so 35-14. Clearly, when you throw that spot out, you're going to say the Eagles are going to eat here. How about Justin Jefferson? Now, there are a lot of bets that we can talk about with Double J. He's always going to be popular to score a touchdown, but you could also look at his yardage for receptions and for receiving yards in total. 94.5 now. That's a lot. It's certainly not impossible. Would you rather go over 94.5 yards or bet him to cross the goal line? Which one?
I would bet him to cross the goal line before I bet over the 94 yards. I think you don't have to obviously sometimes you don't have to have a lot of yards to score a touchdown if you catch a 2-yard slant or if you catch a fade route. Right. So I'm betting that he'd score a touchdown over him getting 94.5 yards. And that's no hate against him. That's just a lot of confidence in Slate.
Yeah, because he is so dangerous inside that 5. And he's going to have like 89 yards of people who go, he sucks, he didn't get over. And it's like, dude, he was
like, bro,
double
it's hard
teamed.
to get 89 yards.
Yeah, he can double team the whole game, safety over the top. So you're going to go touchdown for JJ, one of the 2 touchdowns they might get. I know that we like to make educated bets. I know we try and inform the audience here, but man, I'm feeling gambly today. I don't know what it is. I woke up on the right side of the bed. I bet KJ Osborne, who is the second receiver behind Jefferson, because we know JJ is going to get all the attention. I bet KJ Osborne first touchdown at 30-1. Now, look, is it going to happen? Probably not. But if it does, and I make
$10, manifest.
Come on.
It is going to happen. We got to manifest.
If I bet $10, LG, I win $300 if he scores the first touchdown. I think because of the secondary issues in Philly, you have to take a pop on one of these guys. You have to.
Oh yes, and even Jordan Addison, right? Think about that as well, right? Slade is going to have the number 1 guy. So you want to bet your money on not him to have the first touchdown. So.
I told you that before we started, and I said, hey, I kind of like this bet. And LG said, okay. I said, it's 30-1. He said, wait, what? It's 30-1.
That's crazy. That's crazy. What? And I don't know the odds on the Jordan Addison bet, but that's out there as well, So.
Yeah, Addison 15-1 first touchdown. 15-1.
Hey, See, he might, you know what I'm saying? Sprinkle a little sprinkle on there.
Well, if you literally throw a little bit on these bigger bets, we're not betting a lot to win a little. We are literally betting a little to win a lot. And when we're talking about Osborne
100%.
at 30-1, and we're talking about Addison at 15-1, these are bets where you can make $10 wagers to win $150 or $300. These are fun.
Yes, sir.
These are ways to enjoy the game. LeGarrette Blount, again, the final score 35-14. He likes the Eagles in a convincing decision.
I'm betting the over, though.
But you just said 35-14. That's right on the nose, man. That's right there.
Right on, so that might be 35, but it might be a little kick at the end for the Vikings. You know, it might 35-17. You know how it is. And those moral victories lead into momentum for the next week. Okay,
so we love the Eagles. We like the over. And we have DeAndre Swift over 34.5 rushing yards, and we are spinning that roulette wheel on Jordan Addison.
Come back and talk about this, man. When we talk about this next week and we say, man, we went undefeated, this is going to be a show for the decades.
Oh, man. Good to chop it up with you, LG. That's LeGarrette Blount, 3-time Super Bowl champ. We will see him tomorrow on the Ultimate Betting Show with Claudia, Travis, and myself. And thank you for watching NESN Bets Kickoff, brought to you by PNC Bank, helping to make banking easier. LG, we appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Always a pleasure.